After living most of my life being forced to do things, um, like forced to go to church, forced to go to school, forced to do this, forced to do that. This whole world is about forcing you to do stuff. Um, it's kind of cool that what I know from what I've learned about God or Christ is He doesn't force you to follow Him. He doesn't force you to choose Him. I could go the rest of my life and never choose to follow Christ if I don't want to. That's just the way He rolls. Um, he's about he's about choice. And what I grew up around was never about choice. There were many invisible guns to my head growing up, forcing me to do stuff I didn't want to do, forcing me to be a part of stuff I didn't want to be a part of. So, yeah. So that's the good thing about God, I guess, the real God, or is He doesn't force you to love Him. He doesn't force you to follow Him. He doesn't force you to do any of that. Um, even though I'm not really a follower, of God, really. I ask for help here and there, but I'm not like a devoted follower like many people are, like a real follower of God. Um, and I admit that, but regardless of that, I I still feel like God has been helping me, or Christ has been helping me, despite not me, despite not me not being a follower, like a true follower of Christ, like other people are. I recognize that He's been helping me, you know. Um, if you wanna, if you really want to prove the existence of God, kind of like I did, because I didn't know what was true or false, but through my own suffering, through my own pain and suffering, I could put to the test if Christ was the real deal or not. You know what I mean? I could, you know, I could prove at least that one thing is true that religion talked about. You know, if Christ can do anything for me, then I'd know it was false. It was all false. Even the Christ story, I would know is false. If my suffering would have taken me to the grave, um, to the actual grave, um, I could have easily said, that there is no God, because uh, no one saved me. You know, no one could heal me. No one. So with my own suffering, I was trying to disprove or prove if there was a Christ or a God or not. And there is, based on me still being alive, me still being kind of improving, kind of getting better, kind of healing. Based on that, there seems to be a God of some kind, a real God of some kind, even though it kind of puts me in my place to be wrong. There does seem to be something out there, that's been through more than me, suffered more than me, been through more hell than me, been to darker places than me, been to scarier places than me mentally. Pretty much has been through the gamut of suffering. There's something out there that has been through the gamut more than me. And that's saying something, because I know what I've been through, and it was a lot in this life. A lot of damage, a lot of punishment. Some inflicted by others, some inflicted by myself. But there does seem to be something out there that's been through more than me, stronger than me, more resilient than me. There may be truth. There may be truth to the Christ story. It may not be a story. It may be actual truth. So, yeah. But anyways, I still have the option to decide whether I want to choose to follow him or not. I still have that choice. Do I bide my tongue and just say, the suffering is what it is, it happened, can we make a truce or something from here on out or something? I don't know. I can't undo what happened in the past. You can't undo what happened in the past. But can we go from here towards something, Show me that there was more to surviving abuse than just pain and punishment to no end. Show me that there was something more to it, something more to my pain and suffering, that it was worth something in the end, that it was valuable to something in the end, that it wasn't all for nothing in the end, that it just wasn't something that would lead to my death in the end, and that's it, suffer then die, that's it, Is there something more than that, I don't know. But it's just tough to follow the one that watched all your suffering. That's the option here. Follow the one that watched all your suffering. But he didn't just watch all your suffering. He endured your suffering as well. So it was like he went through it too. So it was a confusing thing in that regard, that Christ didn't just watch my suffering, he endured my suffering at the same time, as if it was him suffering. I know that sounds batshit crazy, but it might be legit because I'm alive and have healed a little bit, I think. So, but I don't know. It sucks to be in my position of something's out there that's been through more than you, stronger than you. You know what I mean? It's like, undeniable, that uh, there is maybe a Christ out there that's been through more than me. Probably has. And which is crazy in itself. But anyways, I guess I really haven't chosen because I guess I haven't chosen to be committed to life, really. I haven't really chosen, even though I've made positive moves in my life, I made positive steps in my life. I still haven't really chosen to like be here really in my heart. I've just been standoffish of being committed to this life. I haven't really put my full heart into it. I've kind of been dancing around the subject, really. Hoping that maybe God will give me a peaceful out, like a peaceful death. Still, I kind of have that hope that He'll still give me a peaceful death, but it's looking like that peaceful death is going to be way in the future. At this rate, it doesn't look like God wants me to go that route. Maybe I can do some good of some kind while I'm still breathing, basically, while I'm still breathing and am walking around still. I can maybe do some good before God calls me home for real, not on my timeline, but on His timeline, but I mean, I didn't know the recovery would be this hard, God's got to give me some slack there. I didn't know the recovery would be this hard. From my lowest point, basically, to now, I didn't know the recovery would be this hard. If I'd known it would have been this hard, I would have stayed dead. I would have stayed dead when I was dead. But luckily I've been helped along the way, even though it's been difficult the whole way, it's been a rough climb, but made videos through a lot of the climb, a lot of the struggle, made videos throughout it all to help me through and get to the next level, basically, not quit and, but anyways, I don't know. I guess that's all I'll say is just like, I'm glad that I'm not being forced to follow God. I'm not being forced to follow Christ, because I've been forced enough in this life for different things. I've been forced enough. Forced. So I'm glad that there's some kind of choice involved, when it comes to God. And even if it's to my detriment that I don't choose to follow God, I don't know. I'm glad there's at least a choice, So, I don't know. Anyways, I guess that's all I'll say for this video.